The anti-social media bill had on the floor of the Senate a hearing. The soiree and the rest of them were there. And so social media abolition, and so that it is no more. And so what becomes of the consequences of the absence of social media bill? We are journalists. You know how easy information flies and shares and all that.
Yeah.
You know how the banks, deal with the internet and make sure that they have to furnish all this kind. So there are a lot of applications, that we use in the benefit of social media. Now, the bill is seeking to abolish all of these.
No. The bill is not seeking to abolish social media. The bills are in two phases. One, to criminalize those who fraud using the social media. We have Yahoo boys and people who a male could disguise like a female and fraud you. And also frauding banks using internet codes, bank codes, and so on. So that bill to criminalize fraud is one aspect of the social media bill. Then the other phase of the social media bill is fake news. You understand? Fake news. The peddling of fake information.
That's okay. That's the meaning of fake news. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Barrister, I want to come back to you. You are a lawyer. So I'm not a lawyer. And so is that exactly what the bill is actually going to be addressing? And if that is what the bill is addressing, what are the legal issues surrounding the bill? Is it actually timely?
Well, I have not gone through the provisions of the bill, but I would want to warn the initiators of this bill that we practice constitutional democracy in Nigeria. And in a constitutional democracy, freedom of expression is a paraphernalia, is one of the things that institutes a democracy. And for democracy to be robust, there must be a flourishing, dissenting voice. I am sure, I don't want to mince words by saying that those who initiated this social media bill have the sole intention of gagging the public. They have the sole intention of silencing dissenting voices. They have the intention of ensuring that Nigerians are shut up on the social media. And this cannot augur well, because the constitution is clear that power, sovereignty comes from the people. We are the ones who vote them into power, and there is no way an anti-people's bill like the social media bill should be allowed to see the light of the day in Nigeria. The bill is not meant for a country like Nigeria with complexities, language, religion, ethnicity. No, we don't need that kind of bill. And to make matters worse, the bill was copied verbatim from Singapore.
Yes.
Singapore does not have the same prevailing political culture with Nigeria. Our political culture differs from theirs. They are not practicing the kind of presidential system and democracy we practice. So why will we import a bill verbatim from another country when the circumstances
are not the same,
that are obtainable in that country are not the same circumstances? The atmosphere that is found here, I think they are lazy.
Okay.
This is a time when legislators are using the influences of passing bills to reform the world.
Now, Barrister Silvanus, Daniel Atai mentioned the fact that these, it is not the entire bill that they want to completely remove social media, but the areas where it has become from.
We have laws.
Hold on a minute. I'm making a point. Now, those points where this social media becomes,
avenue for fraud.
Now, I'm asking, this laziness that you think that the legislatures have been able to capture a bill from Singapore and teleported it all the way to the Senate House. Is it not laziness that the items that he has mentioned, that internet fraud, fake news, and all this could be monitored by the security operatives rather
That's what
than
I wanted to say.
good?
We have laws, established constitutional provisions already. The ICPC, the EFCC, all of them are established to check fraud.
And they're paying the
all
bill.
of these things should be covered by this act. Why the proliferation if they don't have an undertone? And the undertone is nothing else but to ensure that Nigerians do not express their anger whenever they are not performing.
Thank you very
That
much.
is the essence of
Thank you very much.
And
So
it
Dan-
is condemned.
Mr. Dan, please.
Yes, he said, you know, I'm a journalist too. I wouldn't want anybody to gag me, my journalism, prowess. I'm also a talker. I like expressing myself like an extrovert. The fact is, there is something, like he said, perhaps an undertone to witch hunt, certain personalities or dissenting views. However, from the presentation that I read, what I read about the bill, it checks these two areas. One of the fraudulent aspect. Imagine,
And the other one,
it is dangerous.
two side.
Yes.
One of them, fraudulent.
I just want to elaborate a little on the fraudulent aspect of the social media. They've done it to me before I decided to protect myself, and you just sit down, somebody send you an information, you click, and the next thing, they hack everything about you. They hack your phone contact, they hack your digital protocol. In media law, it is criminal in nature to hack somebody's account or to pretend you are this person. Your identity is not real. You understand?
You fake it.
You fake it and then dupe somebody.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
You have
But Barrister, is it true that we have media laws that also provide consequences for those who?
Yes,
Yes.
we have is duplication because we
Duplication.
have a media
We
law
have it.
by Jonathan, and ICPC Act and EFCC Act already checks the fraud. he's
Yeah,
talking about.
so-
what is the essence of the social media law?
All
That's
right.
okay.
So if those laws, I think what the government, the Senate ought to have done is to ensure an evaluation and monitoring of that law to effectiveness. Because fraudulent acts using the guise of the media is not proper.
It's totally unacceptable.
Is totally unacceptable to me. And then I will support that act. Then the other aspect of fake news, you saw what happened. For instance, let me give you an instance of probably when the president was, the wife of the president, Aisha, was in US. There is this fake news that came up. I believed it too. I even nearly shared it. But because we were trained to
Not to tell
investigate sources, that the president is right now marrying the minister of humanitarian and social investment, whatever.
all this was because of social media.
And because of social, I believed it. I was like, what has my comrade Aisha done?
All right, okay.
Now, that is one aspect. So
We're going
you
to
can
take a
see
short
that
break.
level
We're
of
going to take
that
a short
fake
break.
news. You
We're going to
understand?
take a short break right now. This is getting very heated and getting topsy-turvy. Well, listeners, we want to just go for a very short break, and then we'll be back in a moment.
The proposed Protection from Internet Falsehoods, Manipulations and Other Related Matters Bill 2019 has been described as an unnecessary piece of legislation. At the hearing in Abuja convened by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, 80% of the speakers opposed Protection from Internet Falsehoods and Manipulation Bill, asking the lawmakers to dispose of the controversial bill. They expressed worries over the impact such a bill would have on media houses, journalists and other online users who make a living off the social platforms if implemented.
Therefore, this public hearing underscores the importance attached to the process. On this note, it should be reiterated once more that as a deliberate and responsive Senate, we always pay attention to the fact that our efforts, our reports, are people-oriented and reflect the yearnings and aspirations of the citizenry.
In this government with another bill that further entrenches the levels of impunity and excesses that this country is currently going through would be really dangerous for us and perhaps even very dangerous for our democracy.
The line of the Nigerian Constitution has captured most of these fundamental issues concerning freedom of expression in Nigeria. So it is important that any law and this social media bill in its current form will constitute a barrier to something which Nigeria has already decided it will not allow.
The sponsor of the bill, Senator Mohammed Sani, in his submission insisted that even if the bill is dropped, he will continue to push to ensure that the social media is regulated in Nigeria.
It has assumed a disturbing dimension in recent times. Its damaging implications cut across every fiber of people's communal life, from politics to religion, from business to social life.
Among those who threw their weight behind the piece of legislation are the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs.
To say that we welcome this bill for reasons of national security, to promote national security, measures that may appear to limit individual liberties, but in the interest of the nation are taken.
Proliferation of laws is not a unique ingredient of democratic governance. Therefore, we feel that if there is any need for us to look at the existing laws, we can go ahead and do same rather than proliferate them.
Others argued that passage of the Protection from Internet Falsehoods, Manipulations and Other Related Matters Bill 2019 gives the police limitless powers to arrest and prosecute Internet offenders.
Talking about how to fix our constitution through a referendum, because if we had a constitution that is made for the people and by the people, there is no way, like the South Africans have after apartheid, that we will have a bill like this standing at the people's building here in Abuja. It would never have been considered, and it will mean that some of the people who have this kind of outdated ideas would never have made it to even our Senate. That is the truth. The final thing I want to say is that this bill is dead.
I want to plead with you on behalf of Nigerian youths that you trash this bill and halt its further consideration.
Earlier, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, who declared open the public hearing, assured that stakeholders at the public hearing were in a better position to provide well-reasoned arguments on the way forward on the bill.
That the right of an individual ends where the right of another individual begins. The rub between the freedom of an individual and the limits of that individual is often a tight one to walk. As a people, however, we cannot stop discussing this freedom and its limitations for peace and harmony, growth and development.
He added that the Senate's position will be partly dependent on the committee's reports on the social media bill. Not less than 60 civil society organizations, media practitioners, and concerned Nigerians made their reservations on the controversial anti-social media bill. From the National Assembly, Sandra Goana, TVN News.
Welcome back. This is Press Talk on Television Nigerian. And so we want to finalize on this matter of the bill.
All right.
You have watched the documentary.
Yes,
Daniel Tai.
I watched
You were on a very heated example.
Yes.
On what the social media bill did.
Yes.
Please, can you final word on
because
this?
it was not originally termed social media bill. It was termed internet manipulation and falsehood protection. A kind of a bill that protects you from internet manipulation and falsehood. Nobody likes falsehood. Nobody likes being manipulated. I said the sitting president of this nation was in his own Aso Rock, his wife in the US, and there was a commotion on the social media, a falsehood that he was getting married to another wife. I nearly shared it. I believed it. I said, those cabals in the Aso Rock, they have really finished Aisha Buhari, my comrade. You understand? Because I was feeling bad for the woman. Until the woman came back and cleared the air. Because there was nothing coming out from Aso Rock in response to like a rejoinder. A lot of people, it was a commotion in the country. So that is falsehood.
And that's exactly what...
That is what
so
that bill was supposed to address. Not to gag the media. I cannot be gagged.
Okay, fine.
As a journalist, you cannot. I know the law. I can go any length to fight for my legal right.
Do you support
I support the bill on that two ground. To protect me from falsehood and to also defend me from manipulation.
Thank you very much.
I support it.
Barrister, please, a final word on this. Do you support it?
We have laws that already protect
Except
us from falsehood, from fraud and all this. This is just proliferation of laws, and they are not healthy for our democracy.
I mean, one of the
they are waste of time,
waste of money. One of the men mentioned that.
Yes.
Proliferation of law.
Yes,
that is so
we have EFCC Act, we have ICPC Act dealing with fraud. We have our constitution
on that ground I align with you.
Dealing
with
falsehood and
you
blackmail. So it is clear we have obtaining by false pretenses, section 49 of the criminal code.
Yes, okay.
Dealing with that. If somebody pretends to be someone else and defrauds you, the person committed a criminal offense. So what is the essence of bringing another bill and trying to sugarcoat it with these two things that are already provided?
So do you support the bill?
I will, with the on top of my voice, condemn this bill in its entirety.
Can you please use your voice? Use your voice and condemn the bill. Use your voice and condemn the bill.
I condemn that bill in total. It has no place in the Constitution and the democracy of the Federal Republic.
Thank you very much. So, all right, we're going to do a very important discussion. We want to just take a look at the dethronement of Sanusi, the Emir of Kano, by Governor Ganduje. It has been on the news, and I would just want to talk about it, and then we can. I'll begin with Sylvanus Barrister.
Well, before I start, I will want to make it clear that whether dethroned or not, the removal and subsequent banishment of Emir Sanusi can never, will never, and does not dwarf him, reduce him in the estimation of right-thinking Nigerians. In the estimation of intellectuals, Emir Sanusi is an enigma. He's a contemporary Nigerian. He's one of the futures of the country. He's a forthright leader.